Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom. I'm here on day 4 of the Jaded Blossom release and I'm showcasing the Baby Bugs freebie today. So here I am, I'm starting off just coloring this little worm guy with some Copic markers, YG03, YG17, YG67, and R24. Those will all be on my blog later in case you wanted to know the exact colors that I used. This little guy, he's really small, so it doesn't take a lot of blending. I'm just having him darker on the bottom and kind of working up to a little bit lighter on the top, because of the sun. Let's just say because of the sun. I don't know. I'm not really good at this directional coloring and lighting and shadows and all that business. So here I am. I'm just adding some color. Today's project is going to be for the guys out there. I tend to lean toward making girly projects. So, lots of bows, lots of glitter, just lots of. So this one's a little bit more restrained. So there I am. I'm just blending the 3 colors of green together. Nothing fancy because like I said, these are really small little images. Perfect for, treats and tags and, little scenes, what have you. So there I am, I'm just finishing them up. I'm going to add the little red tongue here with that R24. And really it just takes a little dab. It's a tiny little tongue. So how cute is he? Adorable, eh? So now I'm just going to be showing you all the products that I used to put this guy together. So here I am. I'm just grabbing them for you. So those are the baby bug dies. See, that's a little wormy guy. And I'm using the cloud stencil. The word bubble dies, I'm using the square bubble. The pocket tag die. The medical dies, I'm using the center of the little bandage. It's a tiny little piece. I'm using the baby dies for the hanger. And that's about it. Oh, I'm also using a couple other ones that I'll pull out in a second here. So here I am. I'm just getting ready to put together my pocket gift card. I already cut out my 2 little pieces with silver acetate. Here we are. Take It Slow, and the border dies I'm also using for this. The Take It Slow one is going to be for the sentiment. So here we are. I've cut out my my tag with Recollections white cardstock. And I'm just folding it up. Super easy. You can put a treat in there. You can put a gift card, whatever. I'm using red line tape to the tabs, and you just want to hug that red line tape close up to the score line, but not covering it because you don't want your edges to be sticky. But you want it, to be held tight and have a tight little pocket for your gift card or your treat or whatever. And I love using red line tape for putting these together. So I'm just burnishing the back of the tape just so I can get the backing off and the tape will stay stuck where it's supposed to be. So now you just fold the tabs in and you just fold it over. Now I also cut the half of the tag again because I'm going to be doing some ink blending on it. That's the rounded back piece. And I didn't want any, how you get little marks in your die cuts from whatever machine you use. I use a Gemini. And I just wanted to recut that again so I would have a smooth spot. So here I am. I'm using my Jaded Blossom Cloud Matte dies, or cloud stencils, sorry. And I'm using my Tailored Expressions blending brushes with Distress ink, that's tumbled glass. And I'm just going to put some clouds on the back of this guy, or on it. And it's just going to be peeking up above the pocket, so it's not the whole thing that's showing. So I just need to add a little bit of clouds. I tend to use this cloud stencil all the time. You're always adding clouds to the backgrounds of everything. So here I figure out that, geez, I should have trimmed off some more. Really, you just need to trim a little skinny piece off either side. I thought I got enough, but I did not. So I'm going to trim it off with my scissors a little bit. No one will see it. So I'm just trimming it off. And I should have trimmed off the bottom too. You'll see I made a little boo-boo there just because it's going down in the pocket and, it doesn't even have to go to the bottom. No one's going to see, so I really just should have trimmed it off, but I did not. I figured out, of course, after I add my Simon Says stamp craft tacky glue. Luckily, you have some playtime when you're using glue, liquid glue on things, so I was able to pull it out and fix my little boo-boo and put it back in. And no one will ever know, except for you guys and me. So I'm just adding this back in back in there, and look at it, lines up perfectly. No one will see it. And now I also cut the little front decorative piece with the white cardstock, because it just makes, for me, it makes it easier to line up if I'm going to cut it into two pieces. You know, so here I am, I'm just adding my wave paper. That's from Doodlebug's Under the Sea 6-inch pad. And I'm going to add some distress ink to that. That one is the Broken China's distress ink, again with the blending tool from Tailored Expressions. So I'm just going to ink all around the edges just to give a little bit of definition, and I'm going to ink up my that scalloped border die. I'm using it kind of like waves. We also have a wave die in wave dies in our tropical dies with Jaded Blossom, but I didn't want to use such a high die because, you know, this is a little tiny area. So here I am, I'm just adding the bottom of my little wave area with some Simon Says Stamp craft tacky glue. And then I'm just going to apply that to the front of my tag again with the glue. Like I said before, for me, it's easier to line stuff up when I've got a little bit of play time, so I can, you know, move it back and forth and get it centered the way I like. The eyes aren't what they used to be. Used to be able to slap that stuff down. I would always be straight. Okay, so here I am. I'm thinking of how I'm going to add my fishing pole. This is also from the border dies. It's a little tiny strip, and that's just craft cardstock that I used. I believe it was from Paper Tray Ink. And I'm using craft twine from Trendy Twine. The green ribbon is from American Crafts. So I'm just going to thread that through the hole of the tag. And I'm just going to use my reverse tweezers to grab onto that ribbon, just so, you know, it's nice and tight and stays in place. So when I tie it up with my waxy flax here, it's going to be nice and sturdy. I like to use waxy flax because it really sticks to itself, so it's easy to tie a knot and hide it behind something decorative. And you know it's not going to come undone. That's another nice thing. And here I am with my tweezers. Now I sped up this video a little bit, otherwise this would have taken forever because I am super slow at tying stuff. And especially when something's really small and fiddly, my fingers feel like all thumbs. So there we are. I'm just going to trim it off. And we don't have to worry about that coming undone because, like I said, waxy flax is sticky. That's from Close to My Heart. I'm sure there's other brands of waxy string out there that you can use. So now I'm going to make a quick triple bow with the Bow Easy. Whenever you see a tied bow in a project of mine, it's always with the Bow Easy because I'm a bit of a spaz at tying stuff, and you always get a perfect result when you use the Bow Easy. So I use it to tie twine, like I said, ribbon. So here's my little bow. I'm just going to cut off the tails, and I'm going to add it to the front of that little tied area with a glue dot. I just roll it up and can stick it on. I didn't want, like I said, this is a guy's project. Normally I'd add a huge bow or like even our bow die to it. But today I didn't want to do that because, like I said, this is for the guys, and you kind of want to keep it more minimalistic when it comes to guys. They don't like all that frou-frou stuff generally. So here I am. This is my Trendy Twine again. This is going to be my fishing line. So now I'm applying the fishing line. I put a piece of tape actually on the back of the, like on the twine. I'm going to be sticking it to the back side of that pocket. And then I will be making my little hook out of my hanger. So really I'm just trimming off either side of the hanger. And then I'm going to add that little bandage piece to the center of it to make it kind of look at like the top of the hook. You don't have to use dies as they're designed. You can use them any way that you like. We do that a lot at Jaded Blossom. We make other things out of the dies. And I'm making a fishing hook today with the baby dies and the medical dies. So now I'm going to just add those two pieces together. And then I'll be adding it to the front of my card. I'm using a Stampin' Up! Dimensional, one of the tiny little itty bitty ones. And I'm going to use that to pull the twine taut. I'm going to put the little foam square down, and then I will be attaching my hook. So it's not only holding the twine, it's going to hold the hook on the other side once it's down. So here we are. Add my little foam piece, and then I'll be adding my little hook on also. And the little worm is going to be sitting on the little hook like he's balancing before he goes fishing. which is kind of disturbing, I know. He looks too happy to be dying to be eaten by a fish, but that's the way it is. So I'm just adding my little hook here. And once I do that, then I'll be adding my little worm. I'll be adding it using the same Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. I've got to trim one down, but otherwise it fits behind the little worm. I'll be sort of putting one on either side just so he can balance on that hook. And that's about that. Making projects for the guys today. It's not my thing usually. Usually I'm kind of on the girly side, but you know, sometimes you got to make some stuff for the men in your life. So here I am, I'm trying to decide where am I going to put this fishing pole. That's where I thought I was going to put it, but then I decided, nope, I need to figure this out. I'm going to pop this up with, I'm going to, you know, cut a piece off that Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, like an edge piece, run it down my fishing pole, and then I've got to decide where it's going to go. And I think I decide to add it more to the top of the tag. So here I am, I'm going to add it to the top of the tag, but if I do that, I need to extend the string and not have it impede where the gift card's going. So now I'm sticking it down to the inside of the pocket with tape, and that's to the back side. So it's, you know, so it will go in between the two pieces of string perfectly fine. And I'm going to add it to the, you know, the backing piece with a glue dot. I'll trim off my edge, and then I'll cover that all up with my fishing pole that has some dimension from that foam tape. I'm just going to add that on, and then you just flip it over and cut it off with a pair of scissors. And now you have an instant fishing pole, and you've got a little worm going fishing. So now I need to stamp my sentiment. I'm using that square word bubble die from Jaded Blossom, and it's the perfect size for the sentiment Let's Hang Out from that Take It Slow stamp set. That's the, oh my goodness, that's the sloth sentiment. Had a brain fart there. Okay, so now I'm stamping that down with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I like to use my Misty usually for all my stamping. So here I am. I'm stamping that out. And I notice that I make a boo-boo, of course, when I pull this off. So I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier that I always stamp my images that I color with Ink on 3's Blackout ink, and because it's Copic friendly. And then for my sentiments, I usually use, you know, pigment ink. So here you see that I've got it upside down. I think, darn it, I got to go away, and I stamp it again. So basically I go away and I come back and I've stamped it the right way using the Misty. And I'm going to pop that up with my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals again. All my die cutting is done with my Gemini machine. I love that thing. And all my image cutting out is usually done with my brother Scan and Cut with a 0.4 inch border, or 0.4 border. I like the look of that. Oh, so here we are. I'm adding my little word bubble. And how cute is that? I think he's adorable. He's going fishing. So now I'm deciding, what am I going to do here? Am I going to add an embellishment? Of course I'm going to add an embellishment. I'm using Nuvo Crystal Drops in the Morning Dew. And this actually dries clear, so it looks kind of milky, you know, in the pictures and in the video, but it actually will dry like clear little droplets. I tend to put, you know, odd numbers, like I've said before, so I think I have 5 on there. And now I'm just going to trim off my ribbon ends, just at an angle. And how cute is that? And it's kind of cute, and it's for the guys at the same time. So thanks for stopping by, guys. Bye.